Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcast.
We're sisters
And super fans.
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world.
Azizi, it's almost the end of January. When this episode airs, it will be February. I just wanted to check in about your happiness project. February is all about energy, kind of paying attention to either physical energy or your mental energy. And I just wanted to hear, what's your plan? What are you thinking about for your resolutions?
Yeah, so I'm still thinking about it, but I'm coalescing around a few things. I also want to say how much fun it was to see Gretchen, to participate on the Zoom and hear her responses to all the questions. That was a little fun moment.
That was fun.
So I'm thinking about taking 8,000 steps a day. My average is about 5 to 6. And I know there's a lot of hoopla about 10.
Hoopla or research? Science.
I've seen science that says that's an arbitrary number. My goal is to just increase my number of steps. And I think 8,000 is a doable thing. And I might actually take the average in the week because sometimes it's way over, but it's usually around 5,000 if I got my workout in. So I'm going to increase my steps to 8,000 steps a day in February. I'm going to reduce my meat consumption. So my husband and I, Grayson, we've already kind of started doing this in January. And it feels really good, actually. And I think he's enjoying it as well. So we're going to keep that going and kind of make it more intentional. At least I am in February. Reducing meat. And I already had some things planned that fit into this category. I was already planning twice a month trips to the Huntington. So I'm going to continue with that. And while I'm there, the Huntington has these beautiful gardens and museums. And I just do a lot of walking naturally, but it's also mentally stimulating. I love being around flowers and trees and water, and all of that is there. So I think this is actually going to help with energy. I've already talked about my bedtime failings, and I have made some good progress. I'm going to bed around 11 now, and I just need to tighten it up, just 30 minutes. So I'm going to push to tighten that up and have a lights out at 10:30 plan. I've also talked about strength training. That's in my 24 for 24. So just commit to incorporating that weekly.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, Malika?
I also am capturing some of the things from my 24 list as well, which I think is one of the hopes maybe of the project, since Foundation Month was all about setting your 24 for 24. I think that's good that there's overlap. I want to pay attention to my physical energy and really focusing on the things where I'm receiving energy, the inputs. So I would like to refine my bedtime and morning routines and streamline them a little bit. My morning routine, Norm and I take shifts with the babies. It's very different every other day, but I'd like to figure out a few things that I can do no matter what, even if I'm starting them at work, for instance, or on my way to work or something.
Yeah.
I would like to experiment with a certain way of eating. This ties into my manifesto task.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
A word that I made up that means a manifesto about food. I want to finish an Ayurveda online workshop that I started to give me some ideas about that. I would like to do a spa day. And I got a gift certificate a couple years ago from Norm for a Reiki session in the area, and I haven't used it. I have to find it, first of all.
Oh,
but
yikes.
I really enjoy Reiki and that having to do more with physical energy, but with your chakras. It's something I used to do pretty regularly when I was in LA, and I really enjoyed it and felt like I got so relaxed, and it was just a nice reset. I would like to try to do that in February.
Nice. I forgot, actually, you gave me a recommendation for acupuncture.
Oh, yeah.
And I followed up, and we have an appointment.
Woo!
I know. This totally counts. I'm going to put that on the list too. I'm going to start, hopefully, this acupuncture journey as well. So I'll report back. But it's interesting, like we were talking about how with the playbook, February starting, but I've not wanted to dip into February yet until February starts. But you're supposed to be planning for February now. So I'm a little like, wait, do I turn the page into February or do I wait till February to turn the page? It's a little tricky. We might revise some of these once we actually turn the page into February and start that planning. Or maybe we're thinking about this all wrong.
We'll keep you posted. Azizi, what happened on Happier recently?
So on Happier, episode 466, Gretchen and Liz discussed their upcoming plan to have a no-spend February. Hey, look out for our tips, by the way, or my tips. I shared them last week. There's a suggestion of doing a 24 for 24 with your children, and they identify the challenge of throwing away or repurposing nice packaging. So, oh my goodness, I really resonated with this last one. I have this problem. There's the too nice packaging. It's sturdy. You can envision a million ways to use it, but then do you really use it, or should you use it? I don't know. Do you have this problem, Malika?
I do. I have so many different iPhone boxes from 10 years of having an iPhone. I guess I've saved the box, and those I have been able to repurpose in my nightstand. I use them as little organizers for jewelry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things. The Amazon Ziplocs with the holes that clothes come in.
Yeah.
They feel like too sturdy to just toss, but they also have holes in them. So they're not like a regular Ziploc.
Yeah.
But I just have stashes of them all over the place.
I have them also, and I use them for packing and for camping trips, and I put my cords in them in my backpack. But I think you could use packing cubes also. You could use actual real things designed for that purpose, but I have saved them. I also use them for the holidays, for Christmas gifts, to separate items in the gift bag. At a certain point, so like the iPhone boxes, I have not only iPhone boxes, but AirPod, and I just got a computer. I have that box and I'm staring at it like, should I keep it? At a certain point, you have more than you could probably use that you're going to even repurpose. So you have to make a line in the sand and throw things away, I guess.
It does feel like you're letting go of an opportunity somehow.
Yeah. They're so strong. They're so sturdy. It just... But then they're not the most pretty, you know? And so are we denying ourselves?
It's clearly a box.
All right.
Well, you know what would be cool? So this is putting it another level, but upcycling it with decoupage or something. Is that what it's called? The putty?
Yeah.
I feel like we used to do this in our childhood, but really making it into a pretty box.
Yeah.
Somehow. That's a lot of time and work, though.
That's a lot of work. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could put washi tape around it also if you wanted to, or get contact paper. I think there was a version of me in the past that would have delighted in that kind of activity, but today me, not so much. Today me wants to just buy a nice one.
Right. Yeah.
But those are good ideas for folks. Malika, what happened in Happier in Hollywood?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 350, Liz and Sarah answered listener questions about many different topics. It was really funny. I think the very first question was about the age difference between Liz and Gretchen, which is 6 years.
We're 6 years apart.
Yeah, that's our age gap. Azizi is 6 years older than I am. I never really considered that perspective, that we both got to be only children for a little bit, but I think that's true.
Oh, I considered that. I definitely remember that time fondly. Definitely thought about that. But it's such a random amount of time to be spread apart. So it's fun that we share that with them.
Yeah, that's funny. Another similarity that came out in one of the responses is that Sarah's mother was an attorney and our mother is an attorney.
So funny.
Random things in common.
Yeah, and I remember I had conversations with mommy also early on where she would say, like, don't be a lawyer. It's too much. Later, she kind of softened that. And there was a brief period when I was considering it, but ultimately went the other way. The other thing that I picked up on was, I think it was Sarah who's talking about My So-Called Life as a show that she would have wanted to be in the room for, in the writer's room for. And we just watched that together a couple of episodes when I was visiting you.
Yeah, we were rewatching the kind of holiday episode where there's an angel, and yeah, it's such a solid show.
It's so good.
We watched it when it came out on MTV. We watched it live. Again, I was like in kindergarten. Probably not appropriate.
I don't think it was that long ago, but you were young. You were definitely young. And it felt so edgy and like so perfectly
Yeah.
captured what it felt like to be a teenager at that time. And so looking back now and watching the episodes, it's such a good time capsule, but it still holds up. The stories are so good.
And the acting is so good.
We went into a deep dive about it. Wasn't there only one season or something?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it got canceled. Or maybe it started on network TV and then it moved to
Right.
MTV, but they didn't finish. Even the season maybe it was canceled before the season ended, or there was something about it, but it was only one season.
I think there were like 2 episodes that didn't get made.
That's right.
So good.
All right. Our next segment is the follow through, where we revisit something we said we would do in a previous episode. So we're going to do a roundup of some items from our first 20 episodes.
Wow.
This is episode 20, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
There are many things that we said we would circle back to, inspired by one of our other favorite podcasts, The Best One Yet, or T-Boy. They acknowledge that this time of the year, mid to late January, is circle back season. We're out of Happy New Year season and into, I'd love to circle back on that email I sent you before the holiday. So now's the time when everyone is circling back on things that were happening last year. So we're going to do this rapid fire. Azizi, did you buy outline markers?
I did buy the outline markers. I bought 2 boxes of them because I gave one as a gift. I know. Typical me. Typical me. But they're so fun. I got a glittery kind and now I'm stopping myself because I can't make purchases now anyway. But there's different versions. And so I just want to try out some of the other versions. I did buy outline markers.
And you like them.
And I like them. They're fun. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Right.
Yeah. Malika, did you buy a gift for yourself and put it under the Christmas tree?
Yes and no. So I bought the Hobonichi, as I talked about. I did not wrap it up for myself, but I did save it until Christmas to use. And it was nice to have that for myself on Christmas Day.
Yeah, it's nice to have a thing just for you.
Yes.
That you know you want.
Azizi, did you rent the runway?
No, I did not rent the runway. It doesn't actually appeal to me. I don't know. Done Stitch Fix. That feels a little different because you're definitely keeping the things that you're keeping, but I don't know that I will do Rent the Runway after all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Malika, did you clean your closet?
I did, but honestly, I don't even remember when it was clean now. It's been totally reverted back. So I need to do this again. I think I'm going to save it for March because organization is the theme for the Happiness Project.
You're not going to clean your closet until March? Seems like you could do it now and then do it again. That's really funny. I think you're using the Happiness Project to get out of work that you should do now. Closets are living, breathing things that you constantly need to tend to. A closet is like your houseplant that you have to water daily.
I remember, so when I did clean the closet, I do remember that it gave me a lot of energy in the morning when I had a clean closet.
Yes.
I guess I can work it into February, but that's something that's very mentally draining, to open the closet door and you can't find anything. You don't know what you have. Everything's in a pile.
Outer order, inner calm, Malika.
Yep.
Well, you know, my closet is also a mess right now, so maybe we can plan a session together where we're on Zoom cleaning our closets, because I could definitely use some moral support. It's on my list.
Yeah. Azizi, did you take the habit quiz?
I did take the habit quiz. And oh my goodness, here are the results. Spend more wisely by making mindful choices about your purchases. Does that sound like me?
Yes.
Well, how does she know?
I think it's cool because you're already thinking about these things. You did the no spend month. You're thinking about what is a 10, you know, before you buy something.
Yeah, that's true. It says to be happier, consider a habit that will help you make wise decisions about your purchases. So this is spot on. I've absolutely identified that for myself. So it makes sense that this is what the Oracle says now for me. The quiz had some great suggestions, but something else I'm thinking about is deleting the Amazon app from my phone, which will create more friction and making those quick purchases. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon and I have mixed feelings about that. So that's a revelation that I've had in this no spend month also.
Wow.
So I look forward to digging into that.
That would be a good strategy to not have the app. You could also change the settings so it doesn't save your credit card information. So you have to put it in each time.
Right. And that is something that the quiz recommended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a good suggestion as well. Malika, did you do 5 senses in your office?
I am working on it. I think I need to do an inventory, but I know that I've brought in more senses. We did a holiday gift exchange and somebody gave me these cool little essential oils, aromatherapy sticks. It looks like a chapstick, but it's aromatherapy that you put on your pulse points.
Ah.
And there's 5 different ones. And so now I have that in my office. That's really easy to reach for. I got a cozy blanket from Carol, who's a friend of the podcast. My boss gave me that for the holidays. And so that's in my office. I've got 2 different textured blankets now. I've got my soft lighting going. I don't have a taste thing that's there. I think I might need to get some special chocolates that are just for the office. You mentioned that. And I know another coworker of mine has really good dark chocolate in her office to the point where I've been like, oh, I think I should go visit her because I need some chocolate. So maybe I should have my own.
I don't have chocolate. There are times when I do, but it does not last. So I don't recommend just keeping chocolate constantly. But a mint or a hard candy, a small burst of flavor.
Yes.
Is easy thing that I don't consume all the time. Like I won't go through. I'll be mindful.
I should think about what that is. I think taste would be a good thing. I have noticed having a can of sparkling water in the afternoon is really nice. I like opening it. I like the sound it makes.
Oh, Malika, come on. I have a cooler lunch bag with the sparkling water just for the commute home. As soon as I get in the car, it's the 5 senses of opening a can of sparkling water for my ride home. It makes my day. And I like a blanket. I don't have a blanket. Actually, this is another circle back thing. I took the neglected sense quiz and touch was my neglected sense. So a blanket with a different texture would be really nice to have on my couch. So that's something that I'm going to look into.
Yeah, it's cold now, as I've mentioned, and
yes, it's winter.
Some people have space heaters in their office, a little space heater. So that's something to add another sensory element, just being able to control the temperature a little bit better that I might work in. I would like to have more artwork or photos, but I did bring in a gift from my niece, Ilea.
Yeah.
Was a photo family calendar. So I brought that in, but I could use some more visual touches.
Nice. You're on your way.
Yes. Well, good for us. We circled back. We followed through.
It's good to be accountable to each other and the listeners. So we'll continue to do that and check in every now and then.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. When you visit the doctor, you probably hand over your insurance, your ID, and contact details. It's just one of the many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose it, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Okay, so our next segment is Who Am I? Where we ask a question that will help you understand who you are. So I had a revelation about a way to know yourself better. And the question is, what is your sport? And what I mean by that is something that you want to do, that you strategize for, you plan ahead. Maybe there are special tools or equipment. And also, there's an energy around after you've done that activity, you might feel like you won, you accomplished it, or you lost, something didn't go quite right. And there's just like in general a heightened energy around these kinds of activities. Something that you want to do, that you engage in regularly or more than once. And then there's strategy. You find yourself strategizing for it.
Oh, I like this. So, Azizi, what is your sport? Tell me more.
So I first came to this realization with the way that I approached my trips to Disneyland. So I talk about Disneyland a lot, and oh my goodness, when I go to Disneyland or when I'm planning to go to Disneyland, what's the right way? What is it that I want to accomplish? What time do we need to leave? What kind of footwear? What's in my backpack? Are we doing rope drop? Which ride do we hit first? Which snack do we hit first? Think about the lines, the time of year, the temperature. There's a lot of planning.
A lot of variables.
A lot of variables. And the anticipation, the excitement, the exhaustion after it feels like a sport. And to be clear, I don't really like sports to engage in them or even really to watch them. But there are other things like my trip to Disneyland that have replaced that feeling for me. The other thing is thrift store shopping, which I absolutely love. And there's ways to do it, time of day, what you should bring, how to get yourself, how to prepare for that. Definitely Black Friday. Okay. And I know those last two things are shopping, but they do that for me. And then I've talked about flying and finding the right seat and the strategy that's involved in getting to that seat. And then also just all the other things involved with the flight and how to make it comfortable and what you should bring and how you prepare. You have to download things ahead of time. You have to weigh your bags. And there's a lot of strategy that goes into taking a flight. So those are some of the things for me. What about you, Malika? Do you have a sport?
Yes, I can resonate with this. I mean, I think for me, flying is that way also. Any kind of travel, anything where you have to pack a bag, it's very like, what kind of bag are you going to bring? What kind of snacks are you going to put in the bag? Will you be able to access them? I remember when Indigo was about 6 months, I foolishly did a solo trip to LA, just me and the baby. It was not what I thought it would be. It was really hard, but I learned a ton. Even thinking to like, okay, where can I set my bag so that I can reach my AirPods while I'm holding the sleeping baby? Things did not go the way I wanted them to, but anyway, it was fun kind of thinking about it and planning and just getting into the nitty gritty of that. I think so. Going to the Hollywood Bowl is definitely a sport because you have to think about what you're going to eat. Again, the parking, the timing, even the seats you have, what beverages you're going to do. And I think this reminds me of, there was a time we went to the Hollywood Bowl, Azizi. Maybe we got the tickets last minute from a friend of a friend, same day. We didn't have time to really prepare, but we had box seats, which are a little bit fancier. It was you, me, Sinai, and Norm. And we decided we were going to bring Chipotle, which is fine, but we got there late. And it was a classical music performance. So we had to climb around people to get to our seat. And then the crunching was so loud with our chip. And then I think one of the burrito bowls like fell apart in the bag or something. We lost.
So we were wrestling the bag while these soft, gentle tones are playing from the orchestra. We feet away from us and we are being terrible audience members. And who knew? Don't bring Chipotle to the Hollywood Bowl, especially if you're in a box seat. These are things we didn't know that we learned in the moment. Important lessons. And the thing is, like, someone might say, why would you do that? Why would you go to the Hollywood Bowl the last minute? But the reward, the potential reward is so high that you take the chance. When it's good and it's so good, it's hard to explain. But you went to Tanglewood, Malika, right?
I went to Tanglewood. I guess it was last summer. It feels like Hollywood Bowl East. I'm sure people would argue with me or disagree, but it's a very large outdoor performance venue. So we went for the first time, just Norm and I, and we had our little picnic or whatever, but people did it up. There were spreads. People actually brought tables and chairs, special chairs that were lower. And there were candelabras with lit candles, decorations, real silverware. There were many levels of doing this event.
So fancy.
Yes. And so I felt like, ooh, I want to do this. This is the thing I want to work up to. We have a wagon now, which will help bringing things in and out.
We were at the Hollywood Bowl in Tanglewood. We were rookies, and there's just the varsity level that we want to get to. There's levels here.
Another sport that I feel I have is rearranging furniture in a room. So that's something I really enjoy. I don't like moving, but I like to optimize the furniture in an existing room. And that feels like such a win if you can make the flow better or make a room more functional. And I feel I'm biased, but I feel I have a gift for this. I'm reminded, though, of one time we got an Airbnb that we were in for a couple of weeks. This was before we moved out here, but in Western Mass. And we were both working from home, and the layout was all wrong of this Airbnb. I don't know why they laid it out the way they did. But immediately I walked in, I had this visceral reaction, and we were going to be there for some time. So before we unpack, I have to rearrange the furniture. And Norm's just like, oh, come on, do you have to? Like, yes. So I moved everything around, we moved the couch, we really moved a lot of stuff around. And it was so much better. And it was very functional for us to both work at the same time. And it was great. And I meant to move it back, but I also felt like they're going to thank me when they see it. I don't think we need to move it back because it's so much better. This is really going to open their eyes. And Norm was like, I don't know if they're going to see it that way. And I'm like, I think they'll like it. And it's like, okay, well, it was like okay, we'll make a game time decision. And of course, when we were leaving, we didn't have time and we left it. And we got a message from the host.
Did they love it, Malika?
No, they were very upset, but also really confounded. Like, why did you move the furniture so much? You know, I could understand moving a chair here or there, but it doesn't match our pictures now. And I had to take a lot of time to move it back. Kind of, could you give me a reason? They really wanted to know. I told them why we moved it, and I apologized that we didn't move it back. And they said that in the future that it's okay for people to move the furniture, but they will make sure there are signs that it needs to be moved back.
Did they say, is this your sport?
They didn't say that, but I felt like I had gotten scolded. I won't do that again. I was so proud of myself, and so like, they're going to thank me. They're going to send us a message being like, this is amazing.
This is objectively better. There's no possible way anybody would want it any other way. I don't think I share this sport with you. I don't think I feel the same way about rearranging furniture as you do.
Very true.
So that's how you know it's like a know yourself better,
yes.
Right? Everybody's going to have a different way of a different sport. Not the same for everyone. Well, I do know that we share the Thanksgiving planning, and we've talked about that a lot. That brings us so much joy, and definitely we put a lot of energy into strategizing. So we've talked about that. So tell us, what's your sport? I'm curious, does this resonate for you? What other activities bring you joy and that you strategize for and plan ahead? Write to us and let us know.
Breathe deep. Imagine your legs more limber in Duluth Trading Double Flex Denim. Envision euphorically squatting for that can of suds. Bending for your toolbox in a state of bliss. Lunging for your laser level on a whole new level. Relax and allow the flex to fill you with ability. Find your inner flex in Double Flex Denim only at Duluth Trading.
Now it's time for peaks and valleys, because in life there are always peaks and valleys. Today is an even episode, so Azizi, kick us off with a peak.
So my peak is that I'm recording this episode in San Francisco in my hotel room, and it's the first time that I have recorded remotely, and I'm so proud of myself. I packed my gear, and I got a new computer, and I needed now a dongle, and I have all the right cords for the right holes. Took some steps. It was kind of much like a sport, but I did it. So I'm proud of myself. What about you, Malika? What's your valley?
Well, my valley is that this past week, everyone in my house got the stomach flu.
Ugh.
It was so low. It was so low.
That's the lowest.
Kermit was spared, the dog, fortunately. But it is really hard to take care of yourself and your partner and your baby when everybody is feeling so sick. There was a particularly low moment. This was in the beginning. So Indigo was still at daycare. At this point, Norm and I were already under the weather. I had to leave work early because I wasn't feeling good. Norm was just in bed. He was supposed to be traveling for work and had to cancel his trip. And we still needed to pick up the baby from daycare. And so I felt like I was doing better and I kind of rallied, even though I had been laid out on the couch. We really needed somebody else to pick up Indigo. It was very hard. I made it through getting him. It was like getting into the daycare. There's so many steps. He didn't have his shoes on, he didn't have his coat on, nor should he. You know, these are things you do when you pick him up. But he was like in a chair eating a snack. And I just thought, oh my gosh, how can I get out of here without falling apart inside of this daycare? And I made it out to the car. And then a parent was talking to me. Inside, I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I need to go. And they kind of turned away. And I, as I'm holding my child, like tossed cookies next to the van. Sorry, this is graphic. It's reality, you know, this is the valley. Anyone out there who's had a week like that, I'm with you. We're doing better now. And I'm hoping next week everything will be back to our normal flow. But it's humbling to be taken out by a tummy virus.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Malika. Of course, we were in touch throughout this week and it sounds awful. And that experience would make an excellent short story because I can really visualize just all of those steps. I sympathize with you. I'm sorry. And you said it would have been better if there was family around. And I was like, I don't know that I would want to be around you.
It was a specific kind of loneliness or issue, which I know a lot of people experience or are familiar with from COVID times, but it's like, you can't have somebody come over and help watch the baby because then they're going to get sick. And we did have a babysitter on deck that day that we were like, we need to tell her that we're ill, right? Like, yes, we did. And she's like, yeah, no, thanks. I can't come now. Gave her the out, of course, but sometimes you're just all in it. Hopefully our immune systems are stronger for it. That brings us to the end of our episode. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I am going to try adding a blanket to my office, but I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to find one at home that I can bring into my office. What about you, Malika? What are you going to try?
I'm going to try to find an office snack that is appropriate. That will give me a little boost.
Appropriate office snack. Smart. That is a good choice.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you like us, rate, review, follow, unpause, and tell a friend.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Kraft, and Sarah Faith for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com, where you can find our show notes. All right, Azizi, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye.
I think it was a gift from Sinai, family photo calendar.
Oh, Leia did that.
Oh, sorry. Scratch that from the record.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.